Otto, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along once again to Apex Online Racing. This is Season 20 of Xbox One F1, and we're at round number 3 at Hanoi for the Vietnam Grand Prix. The first new track on this game, and a track where it's never been raced before by any real life drivers or us. The circuit going anti-clockwise is being designed by Herman Teich in collaboration with the City of Hanoi authorities, and is located next to the National Stadium, featuring a mixture of public roads and a purpose-built section which will later be open to the public. We were really excited it was going to be on the calendar in real life, of course, but due to the pandemic that is going on, it's being postponed until 2021. Let's have a look at the track. 5.6 kilometers long, with originally 22 turns. However, an extra corner was later added to the first sector of the circuit due to safety reasons, making a total of 23 turns, 11 to the left and 12 to the right, with 3 DRS zones for overtaking opportunities. 1 at the start-finish straight, 1 briefly towards turn 5 and 6, and 1 at turns 10. In particular, watch turn 10 because the corner after that is very, very tight and it can catch some drivers out. And just look at those beautiful views around this beautiful Vietnamese circuit which the drivers will be racing on tonight. We've got 3 compounded tyres coming up for you in today's race, which is the softs, the C4s, the mediums, which are C3s, and the hards, which are C2s. The delves are a bit bigger this time around this track, and people have got to watch on their tyre temperatures and wear. A strategy is really going to come into force here today. We may see a lot of people doing 2 stops. 1.3 seconds slower are the mediums, and 2 seconds slower are the hard compound of tyres. So we got a few people about to start their laps then, and as you can see, we got the beautiful McLaren base livery here, which has been brought with the new patch, as in the rainbow, the We Are One livery, which looks quite nice. So let's go straight on board with a hot lap actually with LGS. Going through turn 1, clunking over the curb on set of the car for turn 2, which is treacherous enough as it is. You got a long turn 2 and then into turn 3. Don't be too greedy on the throttle here, because by the time you need to be going full throttle, and then you should be going all the way from 5th down into 3rd gear here. And then you're going to go and hit that left-hand curb here. This one settles the car if you don't get this corner a lot right. It is one of those ones, actually, where you really got to pay attention to those corners. Now you got the DRS coming up really, really soon. This is a really long straight. You pass turn 8 and turn 9 and then heading towards turn 10. This is going to be where you hit the most power on the circuit, and watch out for that turn 11. I've already told you what to watch out for, and luckily LGS done it just right, but there was a little bit of a swerve here. Now sector 3 I actually find quite fun around this circuit, but a lot of these drivers find it a little bit harder. It kind of reminds me of Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel and Silverstone, and also the SS section around Suzuka. Watch out for the pit entry as well. It's really hard to miss as well coming up. And now you're going to head towards the final corner, and we're going to see what lap time LGS is going to be setting here today. So what lap time is he going to do? It's a 134.0, which puts him in P2 at this stage. So we've got King Kong in 7th place at the moment, who's about to finish off his lap as well. And let me go through the championship standings for you. So, there were a few penalties last week, and JJ Rocks has actually got a qualifying ban due to the incident that he had earlier on in the race. So that is why he is retired from the session. There's also someone else that had a quali ban from last week as well. I believe that was Alfio, but he's still in the pits. So what they need to do, they are allowed to do one installation lap just so they can get their setup locked in, and then that's it. If they do more than that, then they will get disqualified, as Alfio has just done that, which is good news. Jakey B is on pole position right now, 132.6s already, and he's invalidated one of his lap times, but luckily it was his in lap anyway. So, championship standings going into round number 3. Humperdinck leads the championship with 33 points, 1 point gap ahead of Bobberts after Bobberts winning last week, and it was a deserved win. Turned out it wasn't a host glitch that he suffered. He just actually got a lightning start, and he was an absolute machine, I've got to say. So well done to him for that. One of his first wins in Xbox One Tier 1. LGS, the one I was currently using as a hot lap, was sitting in 3rd. Alex in 4th place, Alex Dager actually. Amaze in 5th place after shocking people with his amazing podium in P2. He actually had a really good qualifying session as well, and hopefully he can continue that this week. Alfio in 6th place with, I believe, 16 points. 7th place, we have got Bobsleigh Gamer. I can't remember what his gamer tag is. I need to remember that. 15 points. 8th is King Cont, which he's changed his name, I think, to King Continue, which I think makes it a little bit easier to pronounce, I've got to say. 9th place is Jonah with 10 points. 10th place is Big T, who's moved down to Tier 2 for the rest of the season. So technically it'll be Scary Raw. She's in 11th place with 8 points. 12th is Jam Pancakes. Well, BGG Pancakes with 2 points. And everyone else, Hawk, GXC2110GC, JJ Rocks, and Delta yet to score. And we got a familiar face back in Tier 1. John Papp makes his return to the league, which I'm really excited about. And this is his first race in a while. He might have raced last week, but I wasn't actually no, otherwise he wouldn't be in the standings, duh. But he is quite experienced to the AOR league, so expecting good things from him. But looking at the chat, he wasn't that confident about around this circuit. But it's not a bad lap time from him at the moment. It is a 134.325. I nearly said 124 there. Not good. Not good. Last year's championship winner. Not been doing very well this season so far, but like I said, for some games he may find it a lot easier, and for some games he may find it a lot difficult. It's a lot difficult for him this season, but it takes practice for these guys. They may not be expected to learn it straight away. It may be that the next AOR season that he'll be absolutely lightning fast again. But it's fine. You got to learn from experiences, and it's still great to be in the top tier, so you can absolutely do that and smash it, hopefully, in the future. Pancakes took a very tight line there, and those people take it very well. I don't know how they do it, to be honest, because these will be, I believe for most of these guys, this is one of the 2 tracks where they may have tried out first. It's kind of like a Marmite track, if you think about it. You either love it or you hate it. And for me, as a driver, I absolutely hate this track. Mainly because there's so many places you can get absolutely wrong. As Tom has gone purple in sector 1. And especially around here as well, you just lose the traction so much going into here. If you make so many mistakes, then you're probably going to end up in the wall. And sector 3, I think, scares me quite a bit, but there's some areas of it where it's absolutely exciting. Now, don't forget, AMS Tom was the Australian Grand Prix pole sitter, and he didn't get pole last week, and he didn't really, well, I think Bobsleigh, I'm just trying to think who Tom was. I think he was Bobsleigh Gamer, I believe. Yes, he was. He got a P9 last week. He's still got points, though, but he's got to be a little bit more consistent, the number 59 car. And if he gets that, it would probably help him. We do have a yellow flag, as we got someone that just parked around the circuit. Luckily, he's moved out of the way, of course. Now, I would expect, I think definitely the high 132s. I can't remember what the pole time was for the PS4 tier, but it'll be interesting to see what it would be for the PC tier. But Tom goes in P2. The lap times are not showing up on my screen, which is very annoying. So I may need to get this back up again, but I'm not entirely sure. So again, I would have to pick it up. So very frustrating, but at least I'll pay more attention. So Jakey on pole, Tom in second, Humperdinck, the championship leader, in third place. But look at the gap. So I'm just going to actually get the gap up on my screen. The gap on my screen is a 3 tenths separated between Jakey and Tom. And then we got 8 tenths separated between Tom and Humperdinck. So not as close at the moment, but for some of these guys, they may not practice the track in anger because they don't like the track. But for any race, if you're in the top tier, you really got to give it your all because you never know. This is a track where people are probably going to make the most mistakes, as it's the first time. It's basically an even playing field for all these guys, including myself, because it's the first time I've actually commentated on my own around this circuit. So strategy, they may play around with the strategy a little bit here as well. This may be something that they have their gut feeling about. Maybe a lot of people that might be trying the undercut will be trying it here today. However, according to tyre data, the softs only last 12 laps. But if you can think about China, which we're going to next week, softs last a hell of a lot less. So, you know, the softs will definitely be used more today. But we'll see if people will be doing soft to hards or will be probably soft medium medium or soft medium soft. We shall see. It is 28 laps around here. So I think, unless there's a safety car, probably soft to hards will probably be the best option for these drivers. But maybe soft to mediums if they don't lose out and they have cleaner air. Maybe soft to mediums if they're the back or something, or medium to soft. But we will see. Let us know your comments in the chat about what you think this track is, how you find this track is, and who do you think is going to get pole. Pablo at the moment is in 8th position. He's got a lap time invalidated. Only about one person has not set a lap time. Squishy Panda. What a name. I love that gamer tag, by the way. In the number 19, I believe. That's his number. Yes, it is. He's down in last place out of the ones who are meant to do a lap. Because obviously JJ Rocks and Alfio have got a qualifying ban. But there he goes then. Panda is just about to start his lap. Let's hope he does not invalidate his lap this time. But we got a few yellow flags popping up, especially towards the penultimate corner of, let me just have a look at the map. Was it turn 21 or turn 20? Yeah, turn 21 into turn 22 is probably where a lot of people are probably going to get caught up today. So do watch out for these guys, because otherwise it's going to get a bit of a mess. But it looks like everybody is doing all right with that so far. Now, due to the fact that it is a longer season, a few people will probably have a few off races. And they have more of a chance to actually recover. So that is why a few people may not practice for Vietnam, maybe because of that. But we shall have to wait and see as the race goes on how they take this. I think if you survive, have less penalties, you're more than likely to score some really good points here. I've noticed Jakey has got a black helmet. I do believe he's running that, or it might be got a bit of red on his helmet, I'm not entirely sure, to support, I believe the Black Lives Matter campaign, which I think is a nice touch. As he goes into the pits, Jakey, and I do believe Squishy Panda set a lap, which is good news. So at least he's got a time on the board. That puts him in 8th though, which is pretty good. Katie did a really brilliant job last week. He at least was trying to have some battles last week compared to Australia, where he was having a battle of his own, really. So he's coming on in leaps and bounds every week. Maybe this week will be a learning curve for him. But if he keeps it on the track, he's the one who does not give up. He will still keep racing even if the going gets tough. So today could reward him if other drivers just throw in the towel. Hopefully none of the drivers throw in the towel today, but Casey's one of those drivers that will probably make sure that he hopes that other people make mistakes around here. With 3 minutes left to go, it is coming now to the calm before the storm. This is where everybody will start to get their final laps in. Hopefully people have got enough tyres, enough softs to last for the race. No inkling as to what the weather is. I have not checked the chat about what the weather is. It's going to be an absolute surprise. But for my sake and for the driver's sake, I hope it's dry. Because if it's wet, it's going to be a lot difficult, especially around turn 1. A bit slidey in turn 1. And I do apologise. Some bits of the spectator cam is a bit frame droppy. I think it's something that needs to be fixed in the patch, especially going towards the final corner. I think in Zandvoort is when you go towards turn 1, it gets a bit frame droppy. Well, it's not on the stream, it's actually on the game. So, you know, it's happened for quite a few other streamers that have commentated as well. So, you know, but it happens. And especially around here as well. How's King Kong going to be doing in this race? Now, King Kong didn't do too bad last week. He was looking to put a statement. He got 4th place. He only joined last week, actually. But knowing him, he wants to win. He wants to win. He wants to get that 1st place or even a podium. And he's got purple in sector 2, which popped just a little bit briefly. But I think someone has just beaten him, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm keeping an eye on the times right now. Times are starting to close in a bit more. Maze has moved into P4 in the standings. As we go towards the final corner, well, penultimate corner now, and turn 22 and into turn 23. I nearly said 33 there. King Kong goes into 5th place. So he got purple final sector, but it wasn't enough to get pole. He's still got, I believe, has one more chance to get a lap, but we will see. Let me get the telemetry up. Nah, he's not going to have time to set one more lap, unfortunately. Amaze has one more lap, though. We'll see how he does going into sector 2 and into sector 3 pretty soon, too. We'll see how much power he goes in as well. I still need to change it from KPH to MPH, but I have never got round to doing that, but we shall see. He's going up to speed at 333, which is quite a lot. Breaking down into, I think, around about 2nd or 1st. If you do any more than that, then you're going to lose the car straight away. And I don't think he got purple in sector... Actually, no, let's just wait until he gets to sector 3. No, he didn't get purple there. So I don't think he's going to improve. As we're waiting for a few cars to come across the line. As I think that's going to be Amazed. It's only lap, I think, because he's not going to get into the line in time. And we also got Ferrari as well, who's either about to start a lap or about to finish a lap. So, here comes Amaze then. Oh, as he hits the wall. He rushed it for good measure, and he was 2 tenths down. What about Pablo? No, it was KC, actually, who goes into the pit lane. We've also got a Haas car of, I believe, Comte Dago. Yep, that's him. He's about to finish his lap as well. He's in 4th place in the standings. Got a 3rd in Australia. And a 5th place last week. Let's see what he can do this week. Gets DRS Open. P7 for him. Next, I believe we got a McLaren, which is LGS. And then we got a Racing Point as well. But let's watch the McLaren driver first. He got a win in Australia. He didn't get quite the win last week. Unfortunately, he got disconnected. He's looking to make amends, though, but only gets P12. And Jakey gets pole position with a 1.32.3. So that was impressive. We've got, I think, a Williams going into the pit lane. So I think it's just Con Pablo about to cross the line. And he goes 4th fastest, which is pretty good. Then we got an AlphaTauri, which I believe is Jam Pancakes. Oh, where did he go? P8. And then we got another Racing Point as well. He comes across the line. He doesn't improve either. So I think the final person to cross the line was King Kong. And he didn't improve. Because he was running out of fuel. So that is it then for qualifying. And the guy that was on pole position is Jakey B. I believe he's new He hasn't raced here before. And he has probably woken up some drivers and thinking, wow, this guy is quick. So we'll be able to see someone take the win from pole. We haven't seen that at all this season, because maybe it's the Xbox One F1 curse. Maybe that people that don't win are the ones who don't get poles. The ones who do get poles, I mean. But maybe Jakey could be the one to relieve that curse, get rid of that curse. I really do hope someone does it this season. We've still got a long way to go, so we'll have to wait and see. I don't know who we're waiting for, you know. I think we're just waiting for the timer to tick down just a little bit. I think it's Nick we're waiting for, who is down in 11th position. So hopefully, I think he'll be told by, I think, some of the drivers just to retire. I think that's another glitch that I think will need to be fixed at some point. But do not worry. It is all hunky-dory at the moment. So we've got waiting 5 seconds for 3, 2, 1. And we should be going. Yes, we are. And the cameraman is cutting into a bit of the circuit and a bit of the audience as well. But there we go. So we will go through your results then. So not as close as we would have thought, but again, it is an even playing field and a much tighter track as well, so a bit difficult. Jakey takes pole position with Tom in second, Humperdinck in third, Pablo in fourth place, Amazed in fifth, King Cont in sixth, John Papp in seventh position, BGG Pancakes, his best qualifying result of the season, in eighth, Condego in ninth, Roberts in 10th, last week's race winner. Will he get a good start like he did last week? Nick in 11th, Jonah in 12th, LGS in 13th, Squishy Panda in 14th, Casey in 15th, JJ Roltz and Alfio obviously had qualifying bads and did not set a lap time. So, strategy is going to play into everyone's hands here today. And this is going to be my first experience in Vietnam. Most people's first experiences in Vietnam, unless they've been on a league before. And I am looking outside my commentary box window, and it's raining. My, oh my, oh my. I think a lot of the people in the grandstand are going to be getting their umbrellas up. Now, this was taken earlier on in the day in one of the exhibition cars, and it was nice and sunny. And now it is, the heavens have opened and it's raining. I don't know if it looks to be inters or if it's to be full wets, but we'll see. Haven't got much tyre data on at the moment about that. Maybe that's why a lot of these guys went on the softs, because of this wet weather. Will we see a chance for the drivers to get on those dry tyres towards the end? Will we see a wet to dry race? But it does look quite heavy out there. You will see it in a second, as waiting for the drivers to ready up, of course. But you can see also a lot of people are probably going to come here when it releases next year. But obviously, I think Vietnam doesn't have a contract for next year. I'm not entirely sure. But for my sake, I hope it does. So, as we are just waiting for all the drivers to ready up, which they do. And yes, it is, as you can see, full wets, which is going to be for the first time this season. Commentary curse number 1 for Mr. Jess Games, Mrs. Jess Games 95. I said it wasn't going to rain. I hope it wasn't going to rain, and it's raining. So, yes, different strategies here. Now, I would say around here, the wets seem to last a lot longer than well, pretty much the same time as the hards, around 20 laps. And they do get cooler as well, and the ERS would be easy to manage as well. But they've got to take it a little bit more easy. We probably will see a lot more safety cars. I just hope the safety car is a little bit civil, because there has been some issues with the safety car with this patch. But hopefully, obviously, these guys will behave themselves and there won't be that much problems. For those of you that don't know, obviously, we are sponsored by Hype Energy, who provide drinks. Obviously a previous title sponsor for Racing Point. And we're also sponsored by Elgato, which I am using to capture this very stream right now. And GT Amiga Racing as well. Now we could see a different order at the end of this, because there may be some people that are in the top of the championship standings. They may not like the wet, so they may drop it down the order. And we may see people that are like, yes, the reign's for me. They could shine. Could we see a last two from any of the guys at the back? It could happen around here. We will see. 28 laps await these drivers. And I'm very much looking forward to this. This is going to be, I think for the majority of these guys, a race of attrition. And to see if these guys can survive. And a few people got disqualified from the formation lap, so that is why you are seeing quite a few people already in the pit lane. So, I've just got the track map open. Everything is all good. So, the two-stop strategy may go out completely out the window, or maybe we will see wet, wet, wet. Let us know your predictions. Will it get dry towards the end? I really hope so, because it will spice up the race a little bit. But it's up to the weather gods. As all the drivers are ready to go. 3 lights are on, 4 lights, 5 lights. We got a Racing Point 1, 2. As we are about to get underway. And we go racing here in Vietnam. And it looks like Jakey has got a really good start into turn number 1. Thomas dropped a little bit, and we got one of Mercedes. I think that's Humperdinck, who's got a good start so far. Let's see how they all make it through turn 1. Actually, not too bad, but it's Pablo that's had a little bit of a spin as well. Quite a few people have lost their front wings as well, so I think there'll be a lot of people that'll be going into the pit lane. There was a few yellow flags as well, which was a bit of a shame. But and we got another spin from, I think, KC instead as well. So I think the Ferraris have got to a really bad start. Shane there performing like real life at the moment. But it's Jakey that leads by 2 seconds over Humperdinck. And it is Mercedes 2-3 right now. AMS Tom started second and is all the way down in a P5. King Conto is chasing on the Racing Point driver. Obviously, DRS is disabled at this point. King Con getting a better exit here. He's going to get the right-hand side heading into turn 11. Obviously, these drivers find it a little bit hard to see, and Tom hits Nick. And it's kind of a little bit of a chain effect here, as quite a few people were trying to avoid each other, but it was a little bit more difficult. As they all is a little bit touching again, as Dago's got a bit of front wing damage as well. So I won't be surprised if a few of these drivers, oh my goodness, I just saw a hat slide, and that was Dago. And we got a VSC. Oh, okay, I thought it was going to be a full safety car there, but no, the game says right, VSC. So we got a few people that will be jumping it into the pits. JJ Rocks has had a good start. He's gone all the way up into 11th. And Pablo is staying out. So I'm guessing he may have just caught up in a spin and he didn't get damage from that. So that was a bit of a shock. I thought his damage would have been a lot worse. But LGS is pitting and so is Casey. Those are the only drivers that have got... Actually, no, Casey is not pitting. Wait, is damage on? Yes, it is, because obviously LGS is. But you can see how hard the rain is coming down here today. Another set of wet tyres for the McLaren driver. And it's a bit of a long pit stop as well, so the damage must have been pretty high, which is a bit of a shame. So there he comes out into last place. And the order just keeps changing, so I do apologise. As John Papp gets the first time penalty. Gap now between Jakey and Humperdinck, 3 seconds. Here comes Nick though, and Amaze going side by side into one of the long straights here. We got Nick not leaving much space. They got to be careful. Otherwise, we'll probably get Argy Bargy. And May's got to hold on to his line as well. Both of them have got to try and leave as much space they can here. And look at this. Maze, I think, has been forced off. Unfortunately, the cameras couldn't make it just it right now, as Maze luckily was ghosted. Otherwise, I think he would have caught up in damage somehow. So Maze is all the way down in 10th position. And he's almost hit the wall again. He almost got caught by the Williams car. A lot of these drivers seem to be struggling in these wet conditions. I think the only person that's not struggling is the guy in the lead, because obviously they have clean air. They won't be able to see the spray. And I wonder if it's getting into more monsoon kind of conditions, because it kind of is at the moment almost. It is absolutely chucking it down right now. As we're almost going to head into, I think, lap 3 or 4. I can't even tell right now, because sometimes they just tell you. As we got someone trying to make a move. We got Pablo trying to defend from Squishy Panda into turn 1. But what commitment from Squishy Panda up there, up the inside and up into P10. But for how much longer? Pablo on the attack once again. Hopefully no argy bargy again. But again, it is difficult in these wet conditions. But Squishy Panda gets the move. But Pablo's going to get the cut back. Here he goes. Down to this back straight. And I think he just gets it once again. No DRS here. So the only advantage some of these guys have had. Oh, there's huge pile up. And Pablo has reset to track. I do not think you're meant to do that, as he is down in a 2 P14 on track. So I think he's going to lose a little bit of time, and I think a few people's tyres are going to be heavy, like Casey, I think, spun a few times, so his rears are going to be a little bit more hot in terms of temperature. And obviously the tyre wear is going to be a little bit more harder, as King Cont has lost a few positions from JJ Rocks and John Pat. JJ Rocks having a brilliant race, like I said. JJ Rocks is a big fan of these wet conditions. Maybe we could see him getting one of his first points, proper points of the season. That'll be good, won't it? For him. Looking very impressive, showing that he's one of the kings of the wet conditions. And let's look who has gained the most out of everyone today. So, JJ Rocks gained 10. Bob has gained 5. Nick gained 3 positions. He's the one who's been making some really good moves so far. But he's got Tom right on the back of him. Tom having a good comeback so far. Very impressive. Let's see how he does. A little bit of a slide there heading towards turn 2 and 3. This could give Tom the advantage that he desperately needs around here. So about my throat is getting a little bit dry, so I might need to get a bit of a drink in a minute. But Tom, let's see what he does then. Getting past the right-hand side of Nick. Maybe taking the inside potentially. Nope, he does not. Going into the walls about the roundabout section, I like to call it. And it has the 70 banner as well. Obviously 70 years since F1 first started. It's come a long way since then. Who's going to be winning the first edition of AOR Xbox One Tier 1? Only time will tell. Here comes Tom on Bobbits. Bobbits doing all he can. He's now gained 4th position from Tom. He's now only 6/10 from Nick. His teammate not doing so good, but him doing really well. The only team that has won a race so far this season is McLaren car. Will we see that maybe potentially today? Can get a 3rd one. It's still possible from Bobbits. 5/10 is the gap. JJ Rocks is in the pits. No, that's not him. It's Nick. So he might have got damage. We'll have to wait and see as he comes in. A really tight pit entry here. So I wonder if he got caught up in something that we might not know about. We'll see. A bit of a long run to his pit box though. So we'll see. Or if it may just be a counter strategy. Nope, it is a change in front wing. So we shall see. But meanwhile, Tom is 6/10 behind Bobbers. And that means Bobbers is going to be a little bit more pressure now. He doesn't have any slipstream. Tom has some slipstream from Bobbers. So Tom is going to have a little bit more of an inkling to try and get past him. A few more time penalties are starting to pop up as well. I think Tom could have the edge heading in towards turn 11 pretty soon as well. Pit stops, I think, will be coming soon if these drivers are not going to be in clear air all the time. We've got JJ Box and John Pap going side by side as well. And unfortunately, we get the lovely rev glitch, which I don't want to happen, but we are. Which is a shame, but JJ Box defending to the inside there. What about John Pap? He's going to try and cover off, I think, taking the shortest line possible, surely. We'll see. I think John Pap had to back out there, which was the right thing to do. Otherwise, it would have been a huge shot. What about Jonna and Amaze and Alfio? It was almost going to be 3 wide there. Cool, keep it calm, lads. As Jonna, I think, is having some connection issues as Alfio has hit the back of Amaze. Amaze has probably got damage there, but again, it's really hard to see. Jonna has left the session, so his teammate Alfio has got past him. Oh, what happened? Jakey has retired. What on earth has happened there? The pit lane? I don't know. Because he was in the lead, he was dominating this race. So did he get damage that he couldn't continue with? Did he just give up like that? Or did he have wheel problems or controller problems? I don't know. That was a huge shock. So, unfortunately, commentators cursed too. I said he could get the win today, and he didn't. So, 2-0. Not doing very well with that. So, I think I shouldn't say something bad. Humperdinck's going to lose. There we go. Saying that will hopefully get rid of the curse, and hopefully that maybe we could see him win. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, Humperdinck now leads the race now with Bobbers in second. Bobbers, don't forget, won last week. Shining quite well. Top 5. I think the only ones that not got caught up in damage. King Kont, I think, as well, having a nice race, but he's got a Maze chasing on the back of him too. So this could prove to be very, very interesting. Who will make the jump first? I think the ones that are going to make the jump first are the ones that are getting caught up in these battling. But I think almost everyone is going to get caught up in battling pretty soon too. So something to be wary of as the race goes on. I think turn 11 in the wet is tricky for everyone. I think you're more than likely going to get caught up than not. So I'm trying to find out from Jake what is going on. What happened with him. So hopefully someone who maybe might be Jeff and Jake or supporting Jake would like to find out what happened to me. That would be great, because that's a very, very odd on why he retired. So it might be just damage or something like that. But anyway, Bobbers and Tom into the pits then. Probably for their scheduled stop. We'll see. As here we go. I think we'll see with Tom anyway. Yep, it's a scheduled stop for him, and so for Bobbers as well. Alfio, John Pap and Humperdinck stay out then. So those 3 have got to respond to them, surely, because otherwise they're going to lose so much time. So we could see this race turn into a 2-stop race, and I am very, very looking forward to this. And these words almost didn't make sense then. So I do apologise in advance. And it may be just me, but the rain is starting to get a little bit lighter. And if I look at the tyres, let me look at the tyres actually. Inters. That is why people made the jump. Was they got lighter and it wasn't heavy enough for full wet, so they think, right, they took the jump. So I wonder if the Inter's going to be faster tyre right now. I think it is. I think it's going to be a lot easier to battle, I've got to say. Maybe we could see a wet to dry race. We will see as Jono has left the session again, which is a shame. Unfortunately, I can't see the deltas, but we can see that Bobbers is already catching up to Alfio already, and Alfio, don't forget, he is not pitted, so, and Bobbers is already purple, so if that's not a sign to pit, then I don't know what is. So, as Humperdinck goes into the pits at the moment, he was hoping that he was going to be ahead, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen for him. John Pat goes into the pits as well for a change of the full wets into the inter tyres. I should have got the tyres up, really. That would have probably helped me a little bit more, but there we go. And into the inters they go. And Bobbers is going to be very comfortably up ahead of them right now into turn 1. But they don't have to take turn 1 when they come out of the pits, whereas Bobbers and Tom do. So Humperdinck just gets out. Oh, it's going to be very close coming out. I did tell you this could play into a factor. Maybe this could hinder Bobbers. Because Bobbers had to take turn 1 fully, whereas Humperdinck did not. Going towards turn 4, 5 and 6 then. Let's see what Humperdinck could do. Bobbers very close in the door there. Very much close in the door, actually. We'll see as... Who said you can't overtake here? Well, these two are definitely proving otherwise. Showing off their style here today. Very, very good run from the both of them, I've got to say. And then going into turn 9 and heading towards turn 10 here. It would be the DRS straight. And heading into turn 11. Let's see if Humperdinck can go around the inside. Nope, he covers off a little bit. And we do have a yellow flag. That's an AlphaTauri. And that is Pancakes, I think. I think he got caught up in some damage somehow. Or he might have got a little bit caught up into the roundabout turn 6 and 7 potentially. That was a bit of a shame, that. But I think he's okay. I think the only person that has not pitted is KC, and already he's been caught up by so many other cars. It's a bit of a shame that I can't see the deltas, which means I can't tell how many battles are happening on circuit at the moment, but I'll be able to tell with the track map. As we got another yellow flag again. Let's jump, and JJ Rocks I think has had a bit of an off. Nobody's slowing down to go into the pit, so he must have got damage, I think, just from a little bit as well. Let's see then with the battle we've got between Jonah and Maze and King Kont. So I'm sure JJ Rocks, who pitted, I think got damaged, because otherwise there's no way. So obviously he just pitted for the intermediate tyres. So another set of inters goes JJ Rocks. Not what he wanted, because he was on for a good race. Another commentator's curse. And we got a little bit of a pile-up. Heading towards turn 4. And now heading towards turn 5. Jonah going side by side with KC. Luckily, he's back. Ready to roll. He just joined, I believe. Going towards turn 6 and 7 now. Jonah cutting the corner. Ooh. Very tight entry line. I think KC will probably have to realise that he's just too slow on these wet tyres, and he has to go on the inter surely, because he must be struggling right now. King Kont is potentially going to probably go past him as well. Easy does it, but meanwhile let's jump on board with the battle between Jonah and Amazed. Can Amazed cover up? Almost called it Jamaze, which I was not meant to do, but Amazed is now up into 6th place already. I think the rain getting lighter, I think, has helped the Mercedes driver. And Robert's getting the fastest lap with a 1:50.9. So very, very impressive already. So maybe that may be Casey's wake-up call to go on to the intermediate tyres. Is he going into the pits? No, he does not. So he wants to try and stretch the wets as long as he can. And Pablo has just had another spin. I think he lost a bit of an end play. I think he must have lost more than that. And he's struggling a little bit in the final sector, that's for sure. So he's probably going to come into the pits pretty soon. Be careful, you don't want the speed. Because he saw Pancakes in front of him get a penalty for speeding as well. So again, he went into the pits as well for damage. I think Pancakes will need to serve his penalty there and then. Nope, he has to wait. So it will be added until the end of this race for him. So he comes out. Pablo comes out as well. So the gap between first and second, 2.7. So Humperdinck is closing in a little bit. But we will see though as the race progresses. We're not even halfway yet. Kontnik gets past JJ Rocks. Maybe was there a little bit of a tap there potentially, but I don't know. Not entirely sure. We've only had one safety car though. No, one VSC. Haven't had any safety cars yet, touch wood, but knowing how many curses I've put through these drivers today, then it's probably... sorry. Not going to say any more. They're probably going to kill me. But Nick's pulling away, so maybe JJ Rocks is struggling once again. So not much battling happening at the moment. I think the only battling that is happening is between Nick and JJ Rocks. 0.8 per second now separating between these two. And I don't think... No, I think JJ Rocks is fine. I think he must have got caught up by Nick surely. Oh! And saying that, he's hit the wall. And oh... That is not good for him as he's reset the track. And that is commentator's curse number 3 for me. Yeah, I think I should shut up. I think I should just leave the commentary box and for all eternity. And yeah, and he just missed the pit entry as well. He's struggling so much. Oh, well. How's he going to do that? I do not know. But anyway, Casey comes out of the pit lane. And he finally goes onto the intermediate tyres. As Pablo retires. And we got a safety car. That's worked into the hands of Casey, actually. It's going to be on fresher tyres. He must be living the life right now. And that's commentary curse number 4 for Jess. Oh my word. So, what will these drivers do? Will most of these guys stay out? We'll have to wait and see, of course. Well, to be honest, I don't know what I would do. If I pitted like two laps ago, maybe not going into the pits. But here we go then. Bobbers goes into the pits. Because if he knows, if he pits now, he would make it until the end of the Grand Prix. I think that's potentially what might happen. Tom goes into the pits too. What about Humperdinck? Humperdinck is taking the gamble. He is staying out. So another set of inters. What about for Tom? Casey getting a drive-through penalty. Oh, commentator's curse number 4, 5. Not doing too well. I said this will work well for Casey. I think this is the worst amount of jinx I've had per stream. I do apologise, guys. I do apologise. We're seeing a mixture of a lot of people going into the pits, a lot of people not. So let's see how many people has pitted. So Roberts has pitted, Tom has pitted, Alfio is pitted as well. LGS is pitted, King Kont has pitted. I think the only ones that haven't are Maze, Jonah, and Humperdinck, and John. So they've taken the gamble and they're staying out. And obviously, if they pit now, they're going to have less of an advantage. And KC, if things gone from bad to worse for him, but at least he's still going to continue right now. So I wonder what these guys will be doing in safety car conditions. Maybe take a time to reflect on what they did well and what they could improve on. Maybe. And a chance for another restart as well. Now, well, whilst this safety car period is happening, I am going to be taking a quick drink so I can get some fluids down me. So if you just bear with me 1 sec. So, we will take you through the running order so far from the safety car. A few more people getting damaged, so they're having to pit already. So, Humperdinck is leading from John Pat, from Bobbits, from Tom, from Amaze, from Jonah that's just come out of the pit lane. And, oh no, you gotta be kidding. We have had, I thought it was not gonna happen, but we had something that the slower car just could not catch up, and they're all stopping. What is going on? Oh, no. We thought that the safety car was running hunky-dory and it was all running fine, but it's just going... These guys are just not catching up to them. Everyone else at the front is behaving fine. It's just these guys. But I think it's just like maybe someone got caught up in damage and the game has not responded to that. I don't know. That is a bit of a shame about that. But I kind of was expecting that because a few other leagues that I've commentated on since the patch was live, I think it was last Monday, I think it was, they had a similar issue. But it happened everywhere, almost everywhere in the field. So it could have been in a much worse situation. Anyway, I wonder when the safety car is going to come in. That is going to be my question. But probably, I think majority of people catching up. So it might be this lap. It may be the... Nope, it's going to stay out. So I think it's usually... in for one final lap, I think. So yeah, it is going to be one more lap. Hopefully it gives people a chance to find a little bit of time. And King Kong is in the pits as well, so he got damaged. So a lot of people getting damaged in the safety car. Getting caught up in the back. Maybe some of these guys... if they've got penalties under the safety car, maybe they will get them removed, potentially. And Kont has to serve the 5-second penalty, so no, it probably would not get removed. Which is a bit of a shame. Looks like the conditions are going to stay like this for most of the race. There's no sign of... Actually, there could be a sign of break in the clouds. I did see a... hint of blue sunshine. I'm not entirely sure about that, but yeah, I do see a bit. Yeah, I do see a bit of blue, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, is Humperdinck going to get a good start? He's going to be on much older tyres compared to the likes of Bobbits and Tom. So the one who has the most to gain in the situation are Bobbits and Tom. They can have the most effect right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, as we're pretty much halfway into this race now. And if the safety car was going to come in this lap, maybe now, yep, I called it. I 100% call that it was going to come in right now because it was there for, I think, a few laps, I think, as well. So, what would I do if I was these drivers? What would you consider in this situation? Well, only one way to find out. And it's Humperdinck's going to be leading the field away. He's going to be the one that is going to be setting the pace right now. And it's up to him to see what he can do. As they all come towards turn 22 and heading into turn 23, this is Humperdinck's moment. Is he going to get a good restart? John Pap has a good restart as well. Humperdinck has to cover him off. Going into turn 1. I think everyone making it clean so far. Bobbers and Tom may have not launched they would have liked, but Bobbers is Humperdinck making a mistake, and John Pap takes the lead of this race with a beautiful move heading towards turn 3 and heading into turn 4 now and towards turn 5. John Pap definitely needed that. But what about Bobbers though? He's right on the back of Humperdinck. Humperdinck would have not wanted this. Heading towards turn 6 at the moment. These two not leaving much space they possibly can. But Bobbers gets it sent. There he goes. Into P2. Humperdinck making a bit of a mistake there. He's lost not one but 2 positions to Tom and to his teammate. A little bit of carbon fibre I'm seeing as well from some of the cars. Here comes Amaze then on Tom. Amaze on much older tyres then. Humperdinck also coming back too. Trying to get the longest line. But again, Tom covering up there, closing the door, saying, no thank you. You're not having that position. Tom with the fresher tyres definitely helping there. And we got a yellow. Oh! Kotnik and JJ Rocks having a bit of a coming together there. And that was a VSC there. And this was JJ Rocks' chance to have a little bit of redemption, but unfortunately, it didn't work for him, which is a shame for the Haas and the Renault driver. And I wonder what they have to say about that. And the Maze has had a bit of an off too. Didn't see how that happened. There's just so much battling happening on as well. Alfio has gone into the pit, so maybe you've got caught up in a battle somewhere. He might have missed the damage or something. It's hard to track when you're on your own. That's why I would like a co-commentator with me, especially with these races like this. And JJ Rocks has retired, so I think it's his 3rd DNF in a row, which is a shame. Out of all this though, Jonah is up into P2. 4, I mean. That is incredible. Could he get a podium? Even though he may have got this position by luck, sometimes you need luck as well as skill in races like this, especially if it's rain and it's Vietnam. I did say earlier on in this race it could happen. We could see it later on. I am very, very excited to see what we got this in store here with Jonah. And my words did not come out the way it intended, so I do apologise about that. But yeah, he's around about 1.1 seconds behind Tom, but he's got the likes of Humperdinck, who is a no pushover. He wants to get the move done eventually, and you know, it's not going to be easy for him, as Jonah had a little bit of a slide there. That's probably given Humperdinck a little bit more time to give some time, but potentially. John Pap now, 2.9 second gap between him and Bobbert. I thought Bobbert would have had a little bit more of an advantage due to the fact that Bobbert was on the newer tyres, but John Pap, I think, seems to be coming into his own. But watch out towards the end of this race. We could see those tyres start to drop off in a few laps' time, and Bobbert could come to his own here. We could see the potential crossover point come into effect. So watch out. This race is far from over between him and John Papp. And Tom, don't forget that. Tom is a guy that wants to win so badly. He got pole in Australia. He missed out. However, he's still got points. He has got points in every single race he's competed in so far. So fair play to him, but obviously he wants to gain every fibre of his being at the moment, and it can still happen. Don't forget, obviously track limits could come into effect here, but not as much as other tracks, because obviously there's either the wall or the barrier, and there's not much gravel tracks really. So if you get a penalty around here, then you seriously probably would have cutted so much corners, but yeah, potentially. So we are about to watch the last 10 laps or so of this race. And I've got to say, I hope this is going to shape up to be very, very exciting. Do not tune out to this stream, because we could be in for exciting, especially for this midfield battle. We'll see what Humperdinck can do between Jonah. Humperdinck's tyres must be getting on as well as John's and Squishy's. It is meant to last around about 20 laps. Actually, no, wait, that's the hard tyres. 16 laps. Ooh, so the Inters. It's going to be a bit of a hit and miss between the ones on 10 lap old Inters. So maybe they may have to pit. They may have to take the gamble where the likes of Bobbers and Tom, they can stay out. They will have the confidence that they will get to the end on those tyres. So I would be scared if I was Humperdinck or Squishy Panda or John Papp. But they've got to have loads of techniques to make sure that they get to the end okay. But anyway, here comes Humperdinck on Jonah into the turn 11. Again, Jonah being caught up by the chasing Humperdinck. I wonder if he got damaged there, because he's a little bit swervy. What? How? Casey got disqualified, and I didn't see a pop-up at all there. So I'm not quite. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. That was a bit unfortunate. So that is his first retirement by no fault of his own. I probably will hear back from Casey, because Casey always messed with me after the race anyway. But yeah, that is a shame for your race just to end that like that. This guy, Casey, just not give up, and that is another commentator's curse right there. And I will have to deeply apologise about what I just did to Casey, you know. As Nick has got the fastest lap, he's got some clear air there, so at the moment he gets the fastest lap point. Alfio, ooh, Alfio's not having the best race, is he? Alfio again goes into the pit lane. And he's got to change the tyres as well. I won't be surprised if he was in one of his pit stops if he served the 5-second stop go. But we'll see. We will have to wait and see. Tom is not catching up to Bobbert. I'm actually surprised that Bobbert is not catching down on John pretty soon, but because John's tyres will start to die soon, so we'll watch the gap pretty closely between these two. The gap's now, I think it was 2.6, now heading down to 2.4. It was almost at 2.5, but it's been steady on 2.5. So potentially, if it stays like this, it could be possible. Maybe Bobbers is turning into a Sainz right now. I would say John is a Gasly, but John is not, because obviously he's in the Red Bull. But imagine if John would win his first race. That will be insane. It'll be a really good underdog story. His first race back in Xbox One Tier 1, and he goes on and wins the race. That will be absolutely incredible. So we will find out if he could do it. Now the gap's gone back to 2.8. So John is pushing, but he's got to be careful he does not push that much, because otherwise he will lose time. The gap now is 2.3. So John might have lost it a little bit there. We'll see. It also does depend on the type of setup that these guys are using. You will never know how these drivers will fare in these type of scenarios. So what about King Kong then? King Kong could pressure Jonah in and two. A mistake. King continue. We'll see. Jonah will have to defend that. King Kong to the inside. And what a fantastic move there. I think Jonah had a little bit of a mistake there as well. He's also been pressured from the likes of LGS and Amaze as well. Just look at that train heading into Sector 3. It's going to be very, very tricky for all these drivers to manage. So it's up to them to see how they handle things. It is not that long until the end of this race, so anything can happen. We could see a final safety car for all we know. So only time will tell. LGS though could be gaining a few positions here. Penalties, like we said earlier on, could come into huge effect here. So something to watch out for as we head towards the end. Who do you think is going to win this? Let me know in the chat if you're still watching this with bated breath right now. I know some of you may be a bit tense right now as you're rooting for your favourite driver. I know it's definitely getting quite tense for me as well, but it happens sometimes. It is bound to be probably one of the most trickiest tracks on the calendar. So for some of these guys, they'll be so relieved to get this track out of the way. To be honest, I know I would as well. I would definitely find it a little bit more trickier. But again, we will find out as the session progresses. As Pancakes has got the move done on Alfio. So Pancakes, he's around about, I think, 29 seconds behind a point. So I don't think he's going to get a point, but at least he's still having some fun regardless, which honestly, fair play to a lot of these guys for still keeping going even in these tough conditions. So well done to everybody so far. As I've just noticed, it stopped raining. It has stopped raining. There's still a bit of spray counting down as well. Boy, what did I say? What did I say? It was going to dry up towards the end. And it did. I must be a mind reader or something. People should employ me, people, to read people's minds. But here we go. The gap has decreased now. The Inters are starting to lose a bit of grip on John Pat. Bobbitts gets the moves done quite comfortably before the braking zone of turn 11 and 12. And Bobbitts gets the lead. You can see, whilst I was following the other battles as well, the gap starting to come down as the rain was stopping. And I mean it. It was getting absolutely intense. So do watch out towards the end. It's going to get spicy. I did tell you it was going to get spicy. And it is. So, obviously no one is coming in yet. It is far too early to come in yet. There's still spray on the circuit. I wonder if it's going to be like this for the whole race. But we will start to see, I think, a lot more people go for the fastest lap of this race. And maybe a few people will pit for a last set of inters if the track doesn't dry enough. The runoff area is a bit dry, but anything else after that is a bit more difficult. Nick is going for the gamble, but he does get a 5-second stop go. So that is not good. So a 5-second penalty will be added to the end of this race for him. That's not good. So here comes Nick then. What tyres is he going on to? Soft tyres. Oh, he's taking a risk there. And if he doesn't take that risk, well, if this risk does not pay off for him, then unfortunately his tyres are just going to go like... Pfft. So make sure... We've got to keep an eye on this. Seeing how Nick does. Maybe this might have worked for him. We shall see. This could be a winning strategy. You never know. But the gap between Nick and the leader is 32. But we'll see how much the time comes in. No, there's just some... Sector 1 is dry. But Sector 2 and in Sector 3 there's some spray there. So... that is where Nick is going to start to struggle. Nick's got a penalty for corner cutting. So we'll see how he does, but there's certain places on the circuit where he had to lift off a little bit, which probably cost him a little bit more time than intended, really. But again, it happens. So watch out for him when he gets to turn 11 pretty soon. Let's see how he handles the corner. Ooh, yep, he got into a little bit of the wetness there. Sorry, that might have come out wrong, but yeah, that was definitely the wrong time for him to pit. And he's struggling quite a bit there. I would not be surprised if he struggled a little bit more and his tyres would just overheat, which is just, yeah, it's a bit of a shame there, but sometimes as a driver, you got to take risks, and wow. John Papp getting a penalty for corner cut in 10 seconds. That was a bit harsh. Wow. John has retired. John has retired. Oh, that is absolutely heartbreaking. You always get heartbreaking moments, and I think he must have got that 10-second time penalty, and he was like, right, that's it. That's me done. Which, yeah, that is sad for John Papp, and he's left a session of anger. What could have been? And I know a lot of John fans in the chat will be heartbreaking, even if you're watching this back as well. That is a shame, of course, which means Bobbitts leads by 8 seconds. Will the track dry enough to go onto the soft? It might be too late for the majority of these drivers. Nick is already dropping down quite a few positions due to that gamble that did not pay off for him. What a shame. But that means Bobbitts could get his second win in a row, and he could be leading the Drivers' Championship after this race. So he hasn't got long, but we got a Mays taking the gamble as well. He's going on to the softs as well. Oh, but I think he had to. He got damage. I don't know where he got damage. So he's another guy. And I think Nick had to put on the softs again. Or he's just struggling on those soft, maybe. I don't know. But it is, I think, dry now. Except sector 2. So yeah, maybe going on to the softs will be a good idea. Who will blink first? Oh my god, this is going to be so exciting. Maybe, yeah. Let's just watch sector 2 again. Into turn 11. Yeah, it's completely dry by the looks of things. So yeah, soft and DRS enabled. There we go. So as Amaze has made the right strategy call, he pitted at the right time. That is amazing from Amaze. Strategy, I was giving driver of the day there for timing it well. I know he was meant to pit due to damage anyway, but fair play. So, Bobbits, he goes in. Well, he has to, really. Tom will have to respond because otherwise he's going to lose so much time to Bobbits. Here he comes in as well. What about Humperdinck? Humperdinck could get another podium here as well. The softs are incredibly much faster, but obviously they didn't have to use the softs at all this race, so they could just hammer it home, push it for the softs for as long as they want. Maybe they've been saving fuel as well so they can go rich for the whole of it, but we'll see. Here he goes. Soft they go for all these guys. Panda goes in, Jonah goes in, LGS goes in. Pancakes has to go in now. So this is going to be a sprint race towards the end of this race. And for those of you just joined us, we've had pretty much a crazy race, I've got to say. We've had, it started on 4 wets, then went to inters, then dries. And I predicted it. I predicted it at the start of the race, and Bobbers is struggling. So there's a few bits of the track that could be still a bit damp in places. So this is definitely attrition for the end. If they make a mistake, then that's it. Then it's game over, which is not what you want to happen. As we all watch Bobbers here go towards 10-12, and I think he's fine, so it's not a problem. Meanwhile, Pancakes goes into the pits. Oh, it's amazing. It's the wall just about. He might have lost a bit of his end plate there, but only time will tell here. We're now watching LGS then as we go towards turn 10 now. LGS getting slightly the better exit. Amaze. Oh, if they touch. Oh! Huge contact, my oh my, as Amazing now out of the race. And LGS, I think, has got damage as well. That was a move, I think, from Amaze that should have not happened. It should have not happened. I mean, my oh my. That was gutting for these guys. But LGS still in 7th, but I believe he would have to pit, unfortunately. So he would otherwise going to lose a chunk of time, and he does. What a shame. What could have been for him? But I think a lot of people are just taking risks, saying, yeah, I'm on the soft. You're going to take a little bit more risk than that. But, yeah, that... You're just taking far too many risks, some of these guys, but you have to. As Nick gets the fastest lap, he may get the fastest lap towards the end, we'll see, but we could have a shout for the fastest lap of this race, but because of the pilot, we're not seeing many battles towards the end, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. Bobbers has driven absolutely fantastic today, so was Tom. Tom will get his first podium. Humperdinck could get... Now, where did Humperdinck finish last week? I will check my little notes that I have. Humperdinck finished 3rd. So he's going to continue his streaks of podiums. And the gap was... I think the gap was 1 point. The gap was 1 point coming into this race. The gap will increase just a little bit. Not by much, but again, we won't know the penalties until the end, because penalties can change absolutely everything. So who's gonna get the final podium spot? King Cod is catching Humperdinck like hell right now in the final few laps. I'm not going to be checking penalties because that spoils out quite a lot of things at the moment. So I think it's just about pure skill, and that's LGS that's spun again. Or did he drop positions? I don't know. Oh, he's hit the wall. He's just not liking this track, is he? He's just having really bad luck around here since this incident. So, on one hand, LGS doing not so good, but on the other hand, we could see McLaren taking a third win in a row, and Bobbitt's second win in a row. And he may go for fastest lap as well. Not quite the hat trick because he didn't get pole, but don't forget, he started quite high up as well. He started up in, I think, 5th. No, actually, no, he started in 10th. He started in 10th place or 9th. So he did start, like, towards the lower half of the grid. So he's pulled off a great performance. Bobbitt hits the wall for good measure, but he doesn't care. Bobbitt takes the win. He takes fastest lap. But will anyone steal the fastest lap from him? We'll have to wait and see. Here comes Tom across the line now. He takes P2. A well-deserved podium from him. I don't think he does get fastest lap though. I will get the fastest lap points right now. Humpty comes across the line now. He takes P3. Oh, that was a tight margin. 0.2 of a second. Great battle between these two. I think due to penalties, Humperdinck got that place. Or it might have just been a legit battle, which was fair play. Jonah gets 5th. After a great comeback, we thought he would have been retired from this race, but he didn't give up, and that's where he ended up 5th place. Squishy Panda gets P6. I know, Nick wants that fastest lap. Is he going to get it? No, he does not get it. And he gets a 5-second penalty due to an unserved penalty. What about Alfio? He comes across the line towards the final corner. He's going to finish in 8th place, which is a great result for him. Despite the damage, don't forget he started quite low down as well after his quali ban. So, well done to the ones who stick it up. Everyone that's finished will get points. And we get a bit of the rev glitch from LGS, which is yay, the rev glitch. I hate the rev glitch, but there we go. So, a bit of a interesting race, I've got to say the least. Got quiet in some parts, but there was one man who definitely had a good showing today, and it is this man here. SSR Bobbitt's taking his 2nd win in a row. He'll be happy with that. Nice battle with him and John. And Alfio gets the driver of the day. I thought it would have been Bobbitt's, but no, it was Alfio. I don't know how the game works out driver of the day, but there we go. And we're about to get the results as everyone is celebrating with their champagne. An all-British podium here today. How will people do in China when we go to China next week? We will see. China is known for bringing wetterness. We could see the same, and the wet is back for the standings, but there we go. Bobbitt wins from Tom in 2nd. Humperdinck in 3rd. King Cont in 4th. Jonah in 5th. Squishy in 7th. Nick in 7th. Pancakes in 8th. Alfio in 9th. And LGS in 10th. And your non-finishers are, there's quite a lot. Amaze, John Pap, Casey, JJ Rots, Pablo, the pole sitter, Jakey. He was dominating and then he just binned it or something, I don't know. And then Kont Daegu in 17th place. So I've got to say, obviously King Kont did really well last season with a few of his races, and he just missed out. He could have been on his best result overall, so fair play to him. But anyway, that has been the Vietnam Grand Prix. around Hanoi. A few of these guys will be probably relieved to get this out of their systems. Unless they're doing it in other leagues, of course. Which I'll say good luck to them for that. But we will see you next week for that. And we hope that you will join us then for some more action. Don't forget there's more AOR action to come. We've got some iRacing leagues, Project Cars 2 leagues, ACC leagues, a lot. We've got plenty of action to keep you occupied on the AOR channel. So don't miss a thing. I'm going to be excited for those. And don't forget to watch out the other streams back of what happened in Vietnam tonight. I'm sure there was a lot of craziness that happened as well there too. But I've been Just Games 95. We will see you next week for the Chinese Grand Prix. Have a good evening and goodbye.